Going on YouTube, Cloverbuzz here, back with another Scarlet Violet video, and today we're back into team building and we're looking at Koraidon today. So this is the last of the Dons, right? We did Koraidon, we did Groudon, okay, and now we're gonna do Koraidon over here. So basically, again, another one of those restricted that is, you know, not as good and dominant as your S or A tier mods, but like this is a solid B tiered restricted, right? You know, again, another one of those base 135, you know, Pokemon here, you know, things like Flutter is also base 135, right? You know, even Chenpao over here is also base 135. Another good important speed tier that you guys got to know, Koraidon as well, also base 135, right? So if you understand how base 135 speed tiers work, then that's going to work to your advantage, because then that's going to help you with your EV spreads later on, right? But what is the essence of Koraidon here? So, you know, again, this is always going to be compared to Groudon, right? Like, which one do I use if I had to use either or? My answer is Groudon, okay? You know, I think Precipice Blades is a really, really good move. I think Swords Dance is also really, really good. Ground typing with Sun is great because, again, reduced water damage. And, you know, it allows you to run another fire type like Incineroar on the team, and you don't double up on fire types. Koraidon, 4 times weakness to Fairy is not great, okay? But you do have Terrestrialization available to you, okay? So that's one thing you have, right? Again, Terra Fire is going to be good. Then you can't get burned. So that's the advantage here, okay? And then what it comes down to is what partners can I use with Koraidon? It's more or less the same as Groudon, okay? You need your Photosynthesis monster. You're going to have stuff like Flutter and you're going to have stuff like Raging Bolt, okay? And I did see this one time, you know, from... I think it was Jayloon, right? But his idea was this: if you just ran Imprisoned Fluttermane, okay, along with Trick Room stuff, you know, now, and then, you know, the fairy stuff. So now Koraidon doesn't need to Terra, and then you shut down all the fairy moves that a Fluttermane could possess, right? So it does come down to positioning stuff, okay? But at the very least, you start here, okay? These are your two options. And then the build that's been running around, right, in terms of, you know, the rest of the team, is to play it in a hyper-offensive way, right? So that's going to involve Tornadus over here. And that means if you're going to be running Tornadus, that means you also get Manual Sun with Sunny Day, which is great against, you know, stuff like Koraidon Ninetales teams with Iron Bundle, you know, Kyogre teams. So you can change weather on them, okay? And then at the same time, you know, even if you can't bring out Koraidon immediately, you can just go for Manual Sun and then enable Fluttermane and Raging Bolt this way, right? And then it just makes sense to add Chi-Yu over here, right? Of course, for more damage, right? For not only just Fluttermane, but Raging Bolt, Tornadus as well. And then you just, you know, your Trick Room matchup is just the Amoongus, right? So this is it. This is like your hyper-offensive build with Koraidon. I've seen this in Limitless tournaments. They've been doing relatively well. Same 6, but a lot of people have different sets for them, you know, depending on how they want to play it. So I'm just going to show you our sets, and then we'll do, you know, play it in a couple test games, right? So Koraidon, I think just like Groudon, you're going to want to clear Amulet, so this way you can't get Intimidate cycled. You know, Collision Course is your main move, okay? And then from here, oh, by the way, before I even continue, I have seen a loaded dice set with Scale Shot, right? Which is pretty cool, right? Because again, what you're able to do is now you're dropping your defense, but again, you're going to be fast, okay? And, you know, you're just going to be doing a little bit more damage. So you do consider that, but then you get Intimidate cycled. So I still think loaded dice is an interesting idea behind it, but all in all, Clear Amulet is just a little bit safer. Then you can go Flame Charge here, again, in the sun, right? So you have a chance to boost your speed, so then you can overrun people. And then Flare Blitz in the sun is also very, very strong. And then finally, just straight up Protect, right? So, and then Collision Course is pretty good into stuff like Terrapagos, right? You know, which is also a good matchup for it in a way, right? You know, the same way Zamazenta puts pressure on Terrapagos because of that fighting typing and that fighting move all in all. But this is one way to use it. Then from here, I like Focus as Fluttermane this time around. Like, here's the idea. There's so much damage, you know, coming out from these restricteds. The bulk on your Fluttermane is, you know, getting to a point where, like, it's just not doing anything. It's not doing as much as it should. Yes, we can still calc for Chenpao stuff, but in the end, Sash Fluttermane looks very good this time around. And I'll show you a good battle where it actually wins you the game, and without it, you actually just lose. So, standard set here with Moonblast and Shadow Ball, your 2 stab moves, all right? And then I was running Taunt and Icy Wind, right? So, I didn't have Protect on this, okay? And you might still go for Protect, but, you know, you could just easily do this with Protect, right? But when I was testing, I was like, you know what? I like Icy Wind here. Okay, and I have a sash anyway. So then over here, Raging Bolt, Assault Vest, right? And then, you know, just standard stuff with Snarl. So you can just do Thunderclap. Then you can do Draco Meteor, right? Or Dragon Pulse, whichever one you prefer. Then I was doing Electroweb stuff for speed control, right? And then at the same time, of course, your what's that move? The E-Waves, Draco Meteor, Thunder, no, Snarl. There we go. Yeah. And then Terra Fairy, of course, is the way to go. So yeah, just all things considered, like this is actually really good. And then when it came down here to Tornadus, Covert Cloak was what we were using, and then of course Tailwind, Bleak Wind Storm, and then Sunny Day, and then also here was Icy Wind, right? So you know you can technically take off Icy Wind here and put Protect, right? And or if you want to put Taunt here, right? You can do Taunt, and then here you can put Icy Wind, okay, and then keep Protect. So you can also just consider that. So all in all, you get some like protects on your team at the very least. But at the time, I was like, you know what? I like I like Taunt over here, right? Taunt Flood is actually really, really nice. So I kept it, right? And it was okay. But again, I leave it up to you. I give you options. So after that, what was I running over here? So Tailwind, Bleak Wind, Sunny Day, and I was also running Icy Wind, right? And then the Chiyu here. So you could go Choice Specs Chiyu or Life Orb Chiyu with Protect at the time. But I've been testing Life Orb Chiyu with Protect. Then you can just go Heat Wave. Then you can go Overheat, then Snarl, and then there's your Protect. And then Amoongus is also just relatively standard. You could go Rocky Helmet here, you know, for, you know, big chip damage into, you know, physical types. Or you can go Citrus Berry, you know, for a little bit more recovery. Just keep in mind that the Calyrex as one makes it so that you can't really use this berry. So just be aware of that. But Rage Powder, Spore, Pollen Puff, and Protect is also pretty good. Now, again, you can run Clear Smog, you know, to remove certain boosts from certain setup. I think that's also okay. Just depends on how you want to play it, right? But here we go. Koraidon here, that's all right. Terra Fire. This one is Terra Fairy. Raging Bolt, Terra Fairy. Tornadus with Covert Cloak. I still like Terra Steel in my opinion. Again, Ice Resistance. Chiyu, of course. We can go Terra Ghost as well. And then over here, the Amoongus, we can go Terra Water here for a little bit of fire resist, right? So this is it. This is the 6. Okay, so look at what kind of speed controls you have here. You got Electroweb here, you've got Icy Wind here, you've got Icy Wind there, and you've got Tailwind. So you got a lot of good speed control. And again, you can go for the Protector if you want to keep Taunt. So it's up to you. Okay, and I do think in the end I will change this to Protect on Flutter Main, but at the time of testing, I was using Icy Wind and Taunt. So yeah, just consider that much, right? So how do we want to even this? So Koraidon here with your base 135s. So I've seen this also with Miraidon as well. The magic benchmark is, well, first of all, we'll go Adamant. The magic benchmark is 180. This is enough to outspeed something like Ogerpon, for example, that are the Jolly sets. So we can actually speed creep those and just go 181. Then from there, we can hit the third benchmark here in Adamant Nature and go to 198. Then after that, it's just leftovers. So 4, 4, and then just dump the 100 into the HP, right? And again, if you don't know what EV bumps are and you're trying to play competitive Pokemon, make sure you comment in the video below asking what are EV bumps, because these are a very important skill to understand when it comes to creating EVs, okay? And, you know, if you do know your bumps, then you can go for certain baseline numbers and then, you know, just get to testing immediately. You know, you don't even have to do like certain damage calcs. You can just go for those benchmarks and those bumps, like I said, and then just get to testing, right? But here's what we have. This is our speed tier. We're going to outspeed Ogerpon, hit the bump in the attack, dump the rest into HP, right? Flutter Main, 252, 252 set. You know, can't believe I'm saying those words, right? If you know me, you know that we don't like, we don't use too many 252 sets, but this time around we are. And the Chiyu, same thing over here. I can go a bulky modest set. The same way that I used to do with like our choice specs ideas, right? Where I would just go to about this speed tier and then just pretty much go like almost all bulk, where I would have like a lot of HP and a lot of defense, something like this, right? But in terms of this, you can still just go, you know, just go like aggressive Chiyu, yeah, just go like Life Orb, just go like Timid 252, 253. Like this is still okay, right? And go Timid. You know, Fast Snarls are also really, really nice. You can also go Scarf here if you want, but I still want the damage, and especially with Tornadus over here. So I kept it like this. But if you want the slower, bulkier, modest Chiyu, You just saw my EV spread. You can go ahead and take that one as another sample. The Amoongus over here, we'll just go, we'll go relax still. So down here, okay, we'll go to about 219, 244, right? So we get the even number for the berry. Let's hit the second benchmark here in defense, dump the rest into SPDEF, and, put 0 speed here, right? So this is pretty much what we're looking for. And then the Raging Bolt in terms of the bulk here. So I'm going to go Modest Nature, right? And in the Sun, I want my nice solid special attack number. So I'm going to go 108 Investment. And then let's go faster Raging Bolt. Let's go this 113. So this way we outspeed Calyrex. Okay, and then we can Snarl it under Tailwind. So that's going to be nice. Then 1 point in the bulk in SPDEF. So we get a nice even number. Then we put a lot into HP like this, right? About 224. Again, Rillaboom numbers, Grassy Terrain Recovery. Tiny bit in defense, rounded out there. Again, it's a little bit more of a faster Raging Bolt this time around. And then over here for Tornadus, right? I just like max speed Timid, but I want to go a little bit more bulk. So I'm just going to have 4 special attack, right? Almost no special attack. All right, tiny bit of special defense. And then just optimize my little bulk here, like about 148.92. This is a different Tornadus set that we use, okay? But really, I just wanted my defense to match my SPDEF here and just dump the rest into HP here, right? There wasn't really like any key benchmarks or damage counts that I was really going for here. I just wanted max speed with some bulk, and that's really what I was doing, right? And then after that, this Raging Bolt can survive Ice Spinner from Chen-Pao. So it has a good solid roll there. But other than that, yeah, this is it. It's a very, very general spread. Okay, and again, like you see how fast I was able to make this. You can just jump onto ladder quickly and start testing, right? So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at some games where we can use this hyper aggressive Koraidon team. All right, so this one's against Calyrex Shadow Rider, but no Tailwind stuff. So we're gonna be able to overwhelm them if we have the speed control. Now he can use the Trick Room Indeedee against us, but we'll burn that bridge when he gets to it. I also see that there's no Mienshao here. Instead, he has like the Urshifu and the Ogerpon stuff. So that's fine. So we're going to go Tornadus and we're going to go Chiyu over here. And he's going to lead with Indeedee and he's going to lead with Raging Bolt here. So he's going to be a little bit slower and defensive here. I'm just going to try and do as much damage as I can. I want to snarl the Raging Bolt so it can't do as much damage. And look at the power of Life Orb Chiyu, man. Just removing Indeedee right off the bat. And he also snarls me right back, but because we have a Covert Cloak, the Tornadus doesn't take the drop. Chiyu does. He's going for Ogerpon here, and Spiky Shield is smart, just in case if I click the fire move, which is exactly what I was doing. So I figured, let me just get my Tailwind up and just reposition later on. He goes for Electro Web this time to try and get the speed control on our side, but again, Tornadus has that Covert Cloak. Terra, Rock, Ogerpon, okay, right here, he's going to get a defense boost, but again, Icy Wind is going to be good. Chiyu's going to go next. Heat Wave is pretty solid. I could have also clicked Snarl there. Probably would have dealt a little bit more damage, if anything, right? But he was forced to go Rock Terra, so that's good for me, right? And again, Snarl Chiyu. Again, we're getting reductions here, but we're going to be able to pivot on. So let's go Koraidon here while we have the Tailwind. All right, I make a read here, and I figured he's probably just going to Spiky Shield here. So let me just get rid of the Raging Bolt and take this opportunity to get in the Flutter Main while I have a shot. And that's exactly what happened. So Collision Course, bam, Raging Bolt drops. He could have swapped into Calyrex there, if anything, just to, make the mid-ground play a little bit, but he didn't do it. So he protects Calyrex, trying to stall one more turn of Tailwind. I want to get the speed advantage, by just clicking Icy Wind, all right, and just really force him to click Protect, right? Otherwise, then the Calyrex drops. So now he just has to keep clicking Double Protect, right? Shadow Ball is really good. We get him down to Sash. Okay, and he actually just crits me here with the E-Force, which is a little unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because, again, my Fluttermane has a Sash, right? And here comes Chiyu. He doesn't know this yet, by the way, so he's going to, of course, Protect, trying to double, so this way my Fluttermane doesn't have the speed boost anymore, okay? And he actually does get the double, which is good luck for him, but because we have the Sash Fluttermane, like I said earlier in the video, this is why it's so good right now, okay? Because we can take whatever attack he can dish out at us and be fine. And I just protected Chiyu just to spite him. But anyway, he just clicks Astral Barrage. You already know what happens. And then now we just finish things off into the Calyrex, right? So, pretty standard big game in all things considered. All right, this guy's doing some weird stuff with Dialga Origin and then Ursaluna, and then everything else is just a bunch of weird options. So, but anyway, I mean, we can still play it. Again, this is where something like Taunt is going to be useful, right? Where you can just deny the Trick Room stuff. But, you know, I just felt like Flutter main Chi-Yu lead is good. I don't need Tornadus in a game like this. I'm already faster than everything he's got. So I just want to deny Trick Room. So let's Taunt the Dialga here and then just Snarl and make everything do reduced damage. I missed the pre-Marina, unfortunately, right? Which means now he just goes for Hyper Voice. That's a lot of damage into Chi-Yu, but we have a decent survival rate here, so that's good for me. I'm very fortunate about that. Moonblast into the pre-Marina, and I missed the Overheat into the King Gambit. You know, I figured he might try and switch to catch a Snarl and get a boost, but I missed the Overheat into the King Gambit, right? So I lose both options here, but here comes Koraidon. And here comes Amoongus here, which is very important. You know, I'm just going to go Terra Fire here. He goes for Sucker Punch, which I guess is interesting. I could have just resisted that, but we just removed the King Gambit with Collision Course. And Misty Explosion is kind of funny, right? But Terra Fire helps us live that very easily. But here comes Dialga again. Ursaluna. So here's the plan. Just Spore this thing, protect Koraidon this turn, right? Because I figured he might try some Earthquake shenanigans, and that's exactly what he does, right? But either way, we are able to live, and now we can get the Spore off, and now we just pressure Dialga with, you know, Collision Course, and he can't Terra anymore, right? He thought I would Terra the Ursaluna, but, you know, it's not the threat, it's actually the Dialga. But now that he's sleeping, we're fine. Pollen Puff to heal, and then next turn, Flare Blitz in the Sun, and we actually just pretty much one-shot that thing. And I was surprised at how I was able to one-shot an Ursaluna with Koraidon with just straight Flare Blitz in the Sun. So that was actually pretty cool. All right, so yeah, there it is. Give it a go. Let us know how you do. Again, this is a pretty standard Koraidon team, right? It's very fast and aggressive. There's lots of speed control, right? With double Icy Wind, Tailwind, and Electro Web. So you can definitely get the advantage that way. You got Amoongus for your Trick Room stuff. And then at the same time, Chi-Yu Flutter main with Tailwind Tornadus with Sunny Day is also really, really strong. And then just clean things up with Koraidon at the back. All right. But that's going to do it for now, folks. We'll be back with another video in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.